Hey you, so what I've got in is the results trade back from the trade that I done with the dealer on my video cutting my losses on the silver transaction, and also maybe an investment opportunity for anybody out there, especially the US viewers. So I'll break into these and just give a quick breakdown on what's happening. So we're looking at the 2-ounce Lunar Monkeys I ended up trading for. Now when it comes to even just the Lunar Monkey in general, it wasn't a coin that tickled my fancy. So I actually passed on all the sizes of this coin in 2016. So I'll give a quick breakdown to how I eventually ended up with, I have 70 of these. So after I was somewhat limping away from that transaction, the dealer had brought to my attention that he had what we see here. He had just over 70 plus left in stock, about 75 or so, and he'd be willing to give me these at a good price. Now mind you, I'll touch on the price I paid for these in a second, but he told me about the mintages on these coins, and that he told me an interesting story that prior to Perth Mint releasing the mintages on the 2 ounces and just on these coins in general, he had 1,000 of these 2 ounces in stock. So Perth had released the mintage numbers overnight. The next morning, by the time he had come into the office, he had just under 100 left. So he'd been wiped out by many collectors overnight once the mintage numbers had came in. Now that obviously caught my attention straight away. Let me get this all set away. And it explains, because once again, it's a lesson learned for me and something I'll definitely keep my eye on and moving forward. But normally I'd only pay attention on mintages for a coin that I was interested in, even though it's a very silly move, as I'm interested in the Lunar Saracen in general and the Perth Mint coins. But as this coin didn't tickle my fancy, it's not something I paid attention to at all. So he had mentioned that the mintages, everybody that does check the mintages on these were the third lowest in the Lunar Saracen in general. So these 2 ounces have the third lowest mintage throughout the Lunar Saracen. And now what makes that great, that I've even clocked onto, is that the Lunar Series is damn near got 2 more coins, Lunar Series 2, and then we're done. Now I'll touch on the mintage numbers on what the 2 lowest are before this, and as to why they're so low. So I'll quickly go on. As I mentioned, I got 70 of these in total. So he gave them to me for what was considered a fair price, as I'd taken a small loss on the last ones, and remembering that the mintage numbers were already out for this coin. So I got these for €50, so that's £41 sterling, around $53. And I'm touching on the numbers here because there's, I believe, a fantastic investment opportunity for a lot of the US customers if you jump on these while a lot of people are sleeping on them. So right now in Europe, you're not finding these coins for less than €74, and that's £61 sterling, $79. And that's purely because the European, mainly German market, jumped straight on these once the mintage numbers were out for these. Now when it comes to the mintage numbers, it was funny really, because in 2016 I had a few questions about the 2-ounce monkeys, and a lot of people were inquiring. I was getting a lot, but as I wasn't interested in it, I could only give like blasé answers, like I couldn't tell you what's going on with the 2-ounce monkeys. I'm sure they'll be here when they're here, but a lot of people were looking for them. Now that also was a sign, and this is for anybody that wants to know the makeup of a low mintage coin and clock onto the trigger signs. So a lot of people were struggling to get these. Now dealers told me stories of how they would order 500 and Perth would only deliver something like 50 coins. So since this, I have been told 2 reasons as to why these coins ended up with such a low mintage. Now this isn't confirmed. One dealer had mentioned that year the sales for Perth's kangaroo were very high, so they decided to focus on all the coins that had a cat mintage, and then from all the larger sizes onwards, they didn't put those in such focus. They focused more on pushing out a lot more of the kangaroos. So that's one explanation as to why it could have been a low mintage. And another dealer said Perth were just struggling getting a hold of the silver that year. Now I couldn't tell you if either are confirmed or true, but those are the only 2 things as to why I've heard Perth Mint were low on mintage that year. Now touching on this again, the only time a collector can really capitalize on coins these days, as there's so many coins out and mints are trying to squeeze every last penny out, and rightfully so. I mean, they're not in this for charity, but you only really capitalize when the mint does a boo-boo. And on the mintage of these coins, because I understand the 10 ounce also has a very low mintage, they done a boo-boo, and we'll break into the mintage numbers. As I just touched on, this has the third lowest mintage in the Lunar series to date. Now this, so we got the mouse has the first lower mintage. Now you have to remember the mouse was the first coin when Lunar Series 2 had started. So a lot of people were still sleeping on that coin. This is why the mouse in general, I believe, has the tiniest mintages through all sizes, from the half ounce to the kilo. Well, we know they're still minting the kilo. But rightfully so, the mouse had a 2 ounce, on the 2 ounce, the mouse had a mintage of 9,126. So that is a very small mintage. And you have to remember, that was the beginning of the series, so that's understandable. So that goes for a crazy premium also. I believe you're paying the most when you're looking for a coin in the 2 ounce, and that's going to be the mouse. Now the second lowest mintage was the ox, but there was a double in sales there. So on the ox, you had 18,570. So you can see how the sales have doubled. Obviously, as the series is gaining more momentum and more people are becoming aware of it, the sales have increased. Now after that, you started getting high sales. Now when I say high sales, the 2 ounce does normally have a low mintage, and that the lowest you're going to find the mintage is going to be 60,000. So after that, I think it was the snake. Prior to this release, the snake had the lowest mintage of around 56,133. And not forgetting the tiger, which is the most loved. A lot of people do prefer it. Pound for pound, you could say all sizes go for more of a premium. But even the tiger had a mintage of 63,000 odd, so it's around 64,000, sorry. So looking at these now, you can see why it's such a big thing, especially this late in the game. Once again, making a boo-boo this late in the game is very rare for Perth Mint. And to bring this into comparison, the rooster, the current rooster, at time of filming this, so the mintage numbers came out from Perth in February. In February, the rooster was around 32,967. So 32,000. The monkey has a total mintage after being out for a year of 34,000, let's just say 400. So the rooster, after being out for damn near 2 months, has a mintage of 32,000. So that's just putting into comparison how small these mintages are, and the German market just latched onto that straight away. These are set to increase in price easily, gradually, and it's still a good coin to grab if you want it purely off of investment purposes. And this is why I'm touching on this for the American market, because I've seen a lot of the dealers in America are still selling this coin for a very handsome price. I mean, a lot lower than what I grabbed mine for. And mine was a dealer hookup. I mean, the dealer had mentioned to me that he was selling them easily at 73 euros all day long. So him giving to me for 50 euros really was a hookup, you could say. But as we all saw in my last transaction with him, it was a real shaky one, so it worked both ways for the both of us. But these are easily selling for a lot more and will climb purely off of the mintage. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. You're not going to get no more of these coins. So if you do like them, or if you want a great investment opportunity, I would say now is the time to strike while the iron is hot, because 2016, the roosters have been out for damn near 5 months or so. In America, I've seen these in quantity at a very handsome price. I'll be aggressively picking these up if I was over there right now. And I mean, a tiny mintage, the European collectors market have jumped all over this. And so it can just be one of those things where you guys are sleeping over there, and you have to remember, a lot of dealers have a lot of coins in stock, and so they can't be chasing up mintages and so forth. I mean, I've even seen these, the 2 ounces on the secondary market, still selling for very low, but it's going to purely be because they're unaware of the mintage numbers. Like I said, it wasn't even something that I was aware of, so this would have flew over my head. And I was looking, when I done that transaction, to pick up some Lunar coins, but I was finding it very hard to find a good strong design for the right price. I was close to grabbing some tigers, but with my Kookaburra deal, what happened is that a collector that picked up apparently 5,000 of them from the 2 ounces to the 1 ounces had liquidated a large amount, and those are the ones that I picked up. It's rare the good deals come along. So with this last transaction, where I definitely wanted to put the funds back into better coins. This last transaction was hard because I didn't know what coins to come or put into, so these were really a touch. And for an investment purpose, as I'm mentioning, they have a tiny mintage. The third lowest this far in the game is definitely something to pay attention to. So once again, this is the trade of the trade and an investment opportunity for anybody that may be interested. So hate or love it, will you be doing it? I mean, as I mentioned, short of the 2 ounce proofs that I have for this, for my 2 ounce 12 coin collection, I didn't pick up any of the monkeys whatsoever. It is a nice design, it just didn't tickle my fancy. But all of the larger sizes, I understand, from the 5 ounce to the 10 ounce and the kilo does its own thing. I'm not sure what the half ounce sales were. Once again, not paying attention to mintages, but it's definitely something worth investing in. I've gone for the 2 ounce, as I've mentioned. It's the size I feel does best. So the 5 and the 10 ounces could be a mintage of bloody 10. It's going to be of no interest to me moving forward. So hey, I love it, guys. Let me know if you're going to be grabbing some of these, or if you've got an opportunity to really take advantage of it, because a lot of dealers will be sleeping, but once they wake up, expect to see price on these rise, because you're not going to be able to find them in quantity. Only a handful of dealers in Europe have these. And when you're finding some of the dealers in Europe, who we all know do fantastic prices, have some of the cheapest prices in Europe, when you see them pricing these at close to 80 euros, you know that something's going on and they're definitely worth latching onto. So I hate or love it. Let me know if you're picking these up, guys. Go ahead and subscribe if you ain't done so already, and I'll catch you guys on the rebound.